Hello, everybody. My name is Kimberley Quinlan. I am a marriage and family therapist in the state of California. I am an OCD specialist and I am a compassion uh, advocate. I'm a compassion lover and I love to connect with people. So I wanted to answer some questions that the IOCDF has given me and tell you a little bit about my story as an IOCDF advocate. So when I'm American, but I'm also an Australian. When I moved to America, the move was incredibly overwhelming for me. I was newly married. I was only 21. I was married to an American. It was a huge shock to my system, and I fell into what I consider a fairly severe eating disorder. So I actually don't have OCD, but the way that I managed my anxiety of moving here to this country was to get stuck in what I consider an obsessive compulsive cycle, similar to OCD, where I'd have this fear and then I would do compulsive exercise and all of these compulsions to try and manage the overwhelm that I was experiencing. And I, suffered and struggled for many years with that until I found a therapist who was really amazing at helping me identify this cycle and help me move through this cycle into recovery by using, without calling it exposure and response prevention, they were using ERP. And from that and through that process, I realized I wanted to become a therapist. And as I moved through my therapy degree, I realized I only wanted to specialize in anxiety disorders. And just by luck, I was given an opportunity to train at an OCD center in Los Angeles. And I was exposed to people with OCD that I'd never been exposed to before, but immediately I felt like these were my people, that these people got me and I got them, and I really resonated with them right away. And from there, I will be honest, it's just been a very simple love story between me and OCD related disorders. From there, I was trained and I immediately found and was intrigued by how harsh people with OCD are on themselves, how poorly they can treat themselves, how they can criticize themselves and punish themselves for the intrusive thoughts that they're having. And I had such a deep sense of empathy and compassion for them. And that has been the main purpose of my work, is to, number one, help them get better and give them science-based tools to help them get better, but also to be the voice where I help them identify when they're beating themselves up for the thoughts that they're having or the compulsions they're doing, and help them learn how to get skills for that. And so as much as I love using ERP, I'm actually very interested in actually the human part of it, the how we treat ourselves, how we connect with others, how we maybe stop ourselves from having pleasure in our life as a form of punishment for the disorder or the thoughts or the feelings or the sensations that we have. And so my work as an advocate wasn't really a planned one. It was one that came from a deep sense of wanting to help people identify this painful cycle that they get stuck in, and help them identify and educate them on where they may be doing self-punishment or self-criticism or pleasure withholding compulsions. And so, like I said, I just have fallen into this work, and that's where my advocacy really is. I didn't plan for it to be this way. It's just sort of it. I've been so grateful and lucky and privileged to be able to help in that way. Now, I've been blessed with the IOCDF and other organizations who have helped elevate this part of the advocacy work that I really am interested in. So thank you for everybody who's listening, and thank you to the IOCDF, and thank you to anybody who has supported me in this work, because it is what I call my church. When I am sitting with people or educating people on this, that's where I feel the most grounded, where I feel the most connected, where I feel the most purposeful. A big part of my personal journey has been that I feel sort of empty a lot of the time. I kind of am very unsure about why I'm here on this earth. And this has been work that has just helped me feel like there is a really important purpose. And it sort of has spread too to other diagnoses and disorders. I love to talk about this same concept with BFRBs, body focused repetitive behaviors, with eating disorders, which is what I myself suffered. And it's where I feel the most connected as a human being. It's where I feel the most connected as a human who also suffers. I know there are so many other ways I could advocate, and I have advocated in the past, but a big part of my process and my own healing and journey, I've had a chronic illness that has severely um, made me struggle with my own functioning. I have a disorder called postural orthostatic tachycardic syndrome, which has made it a huge challenge for me in my career and my personal life and in my advocacy. But going through that process where I was so debilitated, I actually have been forced to really reassess and renegotiate what's important to me. And this is it. This is the work that is so important to me. So that's why I treat it like it's so sacred and so important, because as I've struggled and suffered throughout my own stuff, I keep coming back to this core important component, which is we are human. We deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, and we deserve to treat ourselves with kindness and respect. And that message just continues to get stronger and stronger inside me. And that's why I feel that this part of the advocacy work that I do, while there, like I said, there are so many different types and areas that I could advocate, this is just the one that over and over in my life I've had to keep coming back to, and therefore that's why I'm on that specific journey. I'm looking at the questions and things I wanted to mention. The main message that I have for everybody is a phrase I often say. And for those of you who know me, have heard me say it before, and you may actually already know what I'm about to say. And the phrase I love to use is, "It's a beautiful day to do hard things." I have learned as a therapist who holds my clients' hands and my patients' hands metaphorically as they do exposure and response prevention, is we have to change the way we talk about doing hard things. I think a lot of people, when they come to see me, have a mindset around exposure, like doing the hard thing, as if it's bad and wrong and we shouldn't have to do it, and it's terrible that we will do it, and it was terrible that we had to do it. And I really want to change that, because I have learned that the more we face hard things, the more empowered we feel. The more we avoid the hard things and the scary things, the more disempowered we feel. I was raised on a family value, and family values are very important to me. And I was raised on a family value that we do the hard thing, that we work really hard, and that we face fear, right? It was a huge part of my upbringing in rural New South Wales of Australia. My parents had a farm, and there was many, many, many very, very difficult times that our whole family faced. And we were raised on, that we do hard things. And so for me, my message often, in as well as being compassionate, is to continue to remind ourselves that we can do hard things. It's a family value for me now with my children. We often talk about being brave and what that looks like, and how we can couple being brave with being compassionate at the same time. That being brave doesn't mean we have to beat ourselves up and shackle ourselves. Instead, to do the hard thing with a soft heart and with compassion. And so that's the main message I want to give you guys, and I will continue to give you guys. And I think the message is bigger than OCD, right? It's a tool that we can use in every part of our life, whether you're paying your taxes, you're doing the groceries, you're feeling tired, you lost a loved one, you don't want to go to work today. I think it's important for us to remember that we can do hard things and that it is a beautiful day to do hard things. So that is my main message. I have written books, I have a podcast, I have therapy, I have online courses that all come back to these core two pieces of belief that I really advocate on, which is you are deserving of love and compassion and respect every single day, no matter what you're suffering with. And we can do hard things at the same time, that those two opposing things can be true at exactly the same time, and that even if you're not good at it yet, you can develop the skill to be good at it. I am just so grateful to be considered an advocate. That is not my intention to start with, but I am so grateful that I can educate everybody in that area. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you. So thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for listening to this video. I hope that it has brought you a moment of peace and calm, and fulfillment and empowerment, and have a wonderful day. It is a beautiful day to do the hard thing. Again, my name is Kimberley Quinlan. I hope you have a wonderful day.